Hey everyone, welcome into Siren Records Monterey. It's Fresh Catch Friday. Hope you're all having a good morning so far. First things first, I just kind of wanted to give you a heads up that this, our YouTube channel, it's kind of getting to be a little out of hand, like a snowball that keeps rolling and getting bigger and bigger. I'm not sure that I can sustain this because it takes a lot of work to get all this done and uploaded on time, and I don't have any help with this. So it's kind of, there's just so much work to do all the time, not just in the store, but also on the other side where we have wholesale and online platforms, that this is really getting away from me, and I'm finding it increasingly difficult to do. So I'm going to hang in here as long as I can with you, but I think there might be something on the horizon where we might have to just stop this because it's really getting rough. But anyway, for now, let's just carry on as usual. This week I have 2 picks of the week for you, and the first one is the dazzling PJ Harvey. It's called "I Inside the Old Year Dying," and this comes to you on the Partisan Records label, the 10th studio album from PJ Harvey, and it's her first album of new material since the Hope 6 Demolition Project, and she did serve as a producer alongside Flood and John Parrish on this one. Those might be names that you recognize. She works with them all the time. Anyway, this was born out of her last poetry book, 2022's Orlam, and it's effectively a collection of 12 poems set to music, and she's really never sounded freer. This album, it follows the life of a young girl, Ira Abel Rawless, as she navigates a patch from childhood through adolescence. And it's set within this kind of ever-changing landscape, kind of like the one that PJ Harvey herself came from and it still inhabits today. And it sounds like it's from another era, thanks to her enunciating in this dense Dorset dialect. Words like drisk, drush, and galle roll right off of her tongue and make it feel like her most immersive album yet. It's many of the songs are set in autumn and winter, and the album is very musically very sparse. It's kind of got a lone piano here, guitar there, but her career has been characterized by this continual Bowie-like reinvention, and this is one of her biggest about-face turns, structurally and musically. And her voice, which is really, you can consider it the biggest instrument on the album. She uses it with like these eerie whispers or these crazy, uncanny falsettos. That's thanks to some experimental live production from Flood. There are many literary and historical references here: Shakespeare, Joan of Arc, and the Romantic poets like Keats and Coleridge. And references to the latter seem to be at the heart of what this album is about, trying to see the world anew by reconnecting your past and nature. So, beautiful album from PJ Harvey. She never disappoints, and it's stellar. But I have another pick for you too, and that is Rufus Del Sol, and this one is live from Joshua Tree, and this is on the Reprise label. Now, this is a live album and film shot and recorded in the sprawling desert plains of Joshua Tree, California. First released in March of 2020, the release of the film was a turning point for them, catapulting them to stardom as one of the most in-demand live acts in the world. So on March 4th, the Australian band revealed their Live from Joshua Tree. It was a 45-minute live concert film shot and recorded alone in the desert. And the film takes the viewer through some of the band's most recognizable tunes, presented in this immersive and awe-inspiring format. Like as the last rays of sunlight drenched the dynamic topography of Joshua Tree National Park, Rufus Del Sol broke into the opening notes of Valley of the Yuccas, and the trio performed it alone. And until now, no one has had the privilege of witnessing it. So you can probably get a hold of seeing the film or some clips of it, at least on YouTube. But anyway, now you can own it on vinyl, and this comes to you on transparent blue vinyl. It's limited edition, and that's here for you now, okay? All right, so those are my picks. And getting on with a small stack. This is not everything that came out today, but it's just what I could get my hands on for you this morning and keep it going. The first one is a reissue of Body Count. This is Manslaughter, and on Sumerian Records, highly anticipated second ever vinyl pressing of this. And it's their 5th studio album, fronted by Ice-T, legendary rapper, producer, and actor. It delivers the band's signature blend of rap-fueled metal with rage-driven lyrics that just can't be ignored. Now, this vinyl, they're calling it Cloudy, Translucent, Red, and Ultra Clear. And it includes a full-color insert with lyrics and a download card. And next up are a couple of reissues of Jackson Browne. This one is called Late for the Sky. These are on Inside Recordings. This is his classic album, now available on vinyl in its original packaging with newly remastered audio. Jackson Browne's 3rd album here, Late for the Sky. It touched on themes of love, loss, and life itself. It includes a beautiful title track, as well as Fountains of Sorrow, For a Dancer, and Before the Deluge. Browne was joined by David Lindley and his stellar group, along with guests Dan Fogelberg, Don Henley, and J.D. Souther. And another Jackson Browne reissue, also on Inside Recordings. This is Running on Empty. This is his classic album, now available on vinyl in its original packaging and with newly remastered audio as well. Featuring 10 live performances recording in 1977 between August 17th and September 18th by Jackson Browne and his band. The guitarist Danny Korchmer, David Lindley on fiddle and lap steel guitar, keyboardist Craig Durge on bassist Leland Sklar, drummer Russ Kunkel, and background vocalist Doug Haywood and Rosemary Butler. If you guys don't know who Rosemary Butler is, she's just got the most amazing voice. I think that she kind of is in the realm of her own solo recordings. They're kind of like, Christian rock music. But anyway, she lent her voice to a couple of backing vocals of some bands in the 70s. Jackson Browne being kind of the most familiar one. But, she sang with Rosanne Cash and I think Linda Ronstadt. But anyway, she just has such an amazing voice, really lends itself well to this in the live setting too. Anyway, they recorded these songs in natural settings like a Holiday Inn hotel room, backstage rehearsal space, on a tour bus, and also on stage. So that's here for you now on vinyl as well. This is Camp, and it's called By and By. This is on Mom and Pop Records. They formed when childhood friends Taylor Meyer and Evan Westfall bonded over a shared love of Ohio and music. And their self-titled debut from 2016 exceeded 52 million plays and climbed the Spotify charts. And thereafter, Camp toured with Rainbow Kitten Surprise and headlined in the U.S., released the Boys EP, and 2,000 of those sold, and added a 3rd member, Matt Vinson. The band has built their grassroots audience from touring all over the world and have sold 25,000 tickets over the last 8 months alone. So this is on black and white vinyl. That is here for you now too. And then next up we have Sonny Clark Trio. This is self-titled, and it's part of the Blue Note Tone Poet series, so on Blue Note, and it's the supremely swinging pianist, Sonny Clark. He hit the Blue Note scene in 1957 with a burst of creativity, recording 3 albums in 3 months, including the sublime Sonny Clark Trio. This is a 6-song set of bebop themes and standards featuring bassist Paul Chambers and drummer Philly Joe Jones. Blue Note Tone Poet series features all analog remastered 180-gram vinyl and deluxe gatefold packaging. So I love that artwork too. That's really, really nice. This is a reissue of Phil Collins' No Jacket Required. This is from the Atlantic Catalog Group. And again, you see that sticker that is their 75th anniversary. They're reissuing a lot of albums, I guess, that have been out of print, but all on clear, crystal clear vinyl. So this is one of those. This was the 3rd studio album by English drummer and singer-songwriter Phil Collins. It was originally released in 1985. After finishing touring commitments with Genesis and working with Eric Clapton in 1984, Collins resumed his solo career and started work on a new album. And he made a conscious decision to write more up-tempo and dance-oriented songs here, as much as his previous material was influenced by matters surrounding his first divorce. The album features Peter Gabriel and Sting and Helen Terry. You might remember her. She was the woman that sang background vocals with Culture Club. But anyway, they're all featured as backing vocalists on this record. All right. Then we have Cradle of Filth. This is Damnation and a Day. This is a double LP. It's on Century Media Legacy. Damnation and a Day is subtitled From Genesis to Nemesis. And it's the fifth studio album by the English extreme metal band Cradle of Filth. It was released on 10th of March in 2003, and it is Cradle of Filth's only album on a major label, Sony Records, after which they transferred from there to Roadrunner. And it features the 101-piece Budapest Film Orchestra, including the 40-piece Budapest Film Choir. The album is partly based on John Milton's epic poem called Paradise Lost. And yes, I believe this looks like, to me, it's just black vinyl, standard black vinyl, but it's a double. All right, next up, this is Gus Dapperton, and it's called Henge. On this record, he continues his indie bedroom pop foundations, but blends that with delightful hooks and club-ready rhythms and glistening pop production. Homebody is a true highlight, no mean feat for an album with tracks of such a high caliber here. It's a distinct marriage of club and indie pop, and Warner Records has sent over lithographs of this image, and it is your gift with purchase with this. Okay, then we have Bill Evans' Waltz for Debbie, original jazz classics series on Craft Recordings. Now, the fourth and final album by one of the most influential groups in jazz history, the Bill Evans Trio. Their album Waltz for Debbie was originally released in 1962 as a companion to Sunday at the Village Vanguard. This new edition of the album is released as part of the original Jazz Classics series, and it is pressed on 180-gram vinyl at RTI, with analog mastering from the original tapes by Kevin Gray and coherent audio, and presented in a tip-on jacket. And I always feel like if you're like new to the channel and you don't know what a tip-on jacket is, back in the early days of making vinyl records, they would have the back sort of notes and on a separate sheet of paper and paste it onto the back of the cardboard. And it's hard to see it on camera, but they imitate it, and it's more like it's just this whole thing, this whole square is just pasted down onto the cardboard. It's just like a vintage retro look that, you know, some people like to do, jazz artists like to do these days, or at least the company releasing the reissues. Okay, next up we have Rory Gallagher, live in London. This is a triple LP, and yeah, this one is on UME. Triple gatefold, 180-gram vinyl, includes previously unreleased concert from Rory Gallagher's late 1990 UK tour, featuring a 23-song set of live career classics, as well as material from his then latest albums, which were Fresh Evidence and Defender. This new album has been mixed by the recently found multi-tracks and mastered at Abbey Road. Okay. Then we have Group Love, I Want It All Right Now. This is on Glassnote Music. So Los Angeles-based Group Love blend kind of a quirky 90s style indie rock sensibility with a spirited kind of arena-ready roar to them as well. It's a sound they debuted on 2011's Never Trust a Happy Song, which spawned the #1 Billboard Alternative Songs chart hit called Tongue Tied. You might know that one. They have continued to straddle mainstream and indie success, playing festivals around the globe and remaining top 20 Billboard Alternative chart regulars with albums like 2013's Spreading Rumors and 2020's Healer. In March of 2021, Group Love returned with their surprise fifth album, This Is This, and now here they are with their sixth album, I Want It All Right Now. And it says it's limited edition colored vinyl, but I don't know the color of the vinyl. Okay, next up is a reissue of Hootie and the Blowfish, Cracked Rear View. This is the Atlantic Catalog Group. Again, part of that 75-year series, so this is on crystal clear vinyl. It's their debut album. It's currently the 10th best-selling album of all time in the U.S., as well as the best-selling debut album of all time. part of their Atlantic Summer 2023 campaign. So yeah, 1 LP, crystal clear vinyl. And also part of that Atlantic catalog group, another one is another reissue of InXS Kick, the best-selling multi-platinum album from InXS, featuring the singles Need You Tonight, New Sensation, Devil Inside, and Never Tear Us Apart. So again, crystal clear vinyl on the Atlantic 75 series reissue. I don't know, you guys, how many times they're going to reissue this album? It seems like not that long ago it was released, reissued on red vinyl. Now here's the clear vinyl, over and over again. I don't know. It seems like a little bit of overkill, but okay. All right, next up. Okay, so another shout out to Mike from Mike's Got the Spins, because we have yet another King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. This is Petro Dragonic Apocalypse, or Dawn of Eternal Night, and this is on their own KGLW label. Now, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard announced their 24th album, Petro Dragonic Apocalypse, or Dawn of Eternal Night, an annihilation of planet Earth and the beginning of merciless damnation. So it's a happy record. It's the group's second full-length album excursion into thrash following 2019's Infest the Rat's Nest. And though, as you might expect, Petro Dragonic Apocalypse, it's no mere retread of Rats. It's rather a full evolutionary step all of its own. And they're calling this, they have it here as Lucky Rainbow Wax. So I don't know if, depending on what part of the batch, you get different colors. These are marbled green, the ones that came in for us. And now, King Giz, they don't like plastic, so their stuff always comes in cardboard, but I just put it in the bag because that's a real easy way for everything to get shop worn and all messed up. So anyway, inside this cardboard, the pullout is like this very amazing piece of artwork of like this lizard head and the eyes. It's very colorful, and it is embossed. And then this is a double, so there are, it's actually a 180-gram double vinyl, but like I said, they're calling it Rainbow Surprise Wax. These happen to be the green marbled ones. So, ooh, that's here. Okay, then we have Little Dragon, Slugs of Love. This is on Ninja Tune, recorded at Little Dragon's Gothenburg studio. The 11-track album blends soulful pop, electronics, and R&B. And it includes features from their prior collaborator, Damon Albarn, on Glow, and Dreamville rapper JID on Stay. They said they've been exploring different ways to collaborate and communicate, dissolving patterns and making new ones. And they said in a statement about the project, nurturing our ability to curiously press down keys, to bang on different things, strumming strings, recording sounds, and investigating the limits for how much or how little sound can be tweaked. Okay, so I think also this one, this is the indie exclusive edition. It's clear vinyl LP with orange and black blur splatter, and I guess it sort of is going to kind of look like that. Okay, and now we have some reissues from Overkill, and this is through BMG Rights Management. This one here is I Hear Black, and it's the 6th studio album by the American thrash metal band Overkill, originally released in 1993 by Atlantic. The album once again presented a change of style for the band, from the up-tempo thrash of Horrorscope to a more groove metal style. The result was a metal album which had a much darker feel to it, incorporating Black Sabbath-influenced blues, doom, and stoner tones, although the album retained many of their traditional harsh thrash metal roots. It was the band's first to feature the drummer Tim Millar. Okay, and also, let me see, is that on any kind of colored vinyl? They're saying this is on orange marbled vinyl. Okay, that one was for I Hear Black. Okay, the next one is WFO. I think that means like wide fucking open or something like that. But anyway, this is the 6th album, and it was originally released in 1993. wait a minute. Nope. This one was released in 1994. I'm sorry. And it is their 7th full-length album. It was also on Atlantic. The album contains hidden songs. On track 98, the songs start at the 10-minute mark, featuring the band warming up in the studio, playing Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath, The Ripper by Judas Priest, and Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix. The instrumental song R.I.P. was written as a tribute to Chris Oliva, co-founder of the band Savatage, who died 9 months before the release of the album. So WFO is the last Overkill album released by Atlantic Records, who released their previous 5 albums. And the last album with guitarists Rob Canavino and Merritt Grant. So, okay, those are now back in print for you. Okay, this is Sean Paul, Duty Rock 20th Anniversary, 2 LPs on the Atlantic Catalog Group. Again, here we go. So that means clear vinyl. Second album by the Jamaican reggae dancehall artist Sean Paul. It spawned 2 top 10 hits with Gimme the Light, and he duets with then Destiny's Child Beyonce and her single Baby Boy, part of the Atlantic Summer 2023 campaign for Atlantic Records. This is Penguin Cafe, Rain Before 7, erased tape. So a sense of optimism infuses Penguin Cafe's 5th studio album, Rain Before 7. Not the braggadocious, overconfident kind, but more of a blithe, self-effacing optimism in keeping with the national character. Even when all signs point to the contrary, it operates within the certainty that things are going to be all right. And probably. The title comes from an old weather proverb with the rhyming prognostication, fine before 11, hinting at a happy ending. Okay. Irrespective of the science, I found it in a book, and I'd never heard it before. Says author Jeffis, leader of Penguin Cafe, has a faintly optimistic overtones, and I quite like it. It's fallen out of usage recently, but it does describe English weather patterns coming in off the Atlantic. Okay. This is, if last week wasn't enough for you, we got another Pucifer EP here. Don't Shoot the Messenger through BMG Rights Management. 3 of the tracks were previously released on soundtracks. Trekka being the only exception. So Rev 2220 was released on the Underworld soundtrack. The Rev 2220 420 mix was released on the Saw 2 soundtrack, and the Undertaker, the Renholder mix, was released on the Underworld Evolution soundtrack. Okay, wow. Then we have Screamin' Females. This is called Rose Mountain, and this is on the Don Giovanni label. Limited edition rose-colored vinyl, 750 pressed worldwide. Screaming Females had such a clear goal in their new album that it became almost a mantra. They wanted songs that were concise, crisp, and melodic. And that's exactly what the New Jersey punk trio delivers on Rose Mountain, their 6th LP on Don Giovanni Records. Okay, and then another one of Screaming Females. This is Ugly, and this is a double LP. And this is on limited edition white vinyl, 750 units pressed worldwide. Screaming Females, 7 years as a band, 4 full-length albums, and 700 globe-spanning live shows has made them difficult to miss. Although through it all, the New Brunswick, New Jersey trio have continued to exude frenetic energy, which is built upon the zeitgeist of America's punk and indie underground, yet always remained forward-looking. Fittingly for Screaming Females' 5th album, Ugly, the band enlisted the legendary recording engineer Steve Albini, who we all know works with like all the big hitters. Famed for his unique ability to capture the ferociousness of a live performance while delivering gorgeous sonic clarity. The album's 14 tracks reaffirm the touchstones of the band. They can still shred, and frontwoman Marissa Paternoster can still unleash a powerful howl. But it doesn't end there. The album ushers in new explorations for the band, a truly remarkable feat considering their already prolific output. So Ugly has the perfect combination of raw energy and honed musicianship that produces the type of rock and roll which is still a force to be reckoned with. Okay, and then we have Skrillex, Don't Get Too Close. Again, part of that Atlantic series there. It sees Skrillex stretching his prowess even further with the intricate and beautiful pop-structured album, offering some of his most vulnerable and intimate work. After spending much time during the pandemic at Rick Rubin's Shari-La Studios and traveling around Europe, endlessly collaborating with some of the most forward-thinking and avant-garde voices in music, Skrillex was inspired with this project and delivered something completely open and brave and organic that is uniquely not just for him, but for the music landscape at large, and can be felt from the title track where he sings alongside his close collaborator, Bibi Borelli. Don't Get Too Close is an off-kilter personal pop-leaning album where the masterful producer pours every ounce of skill and personality into the songs and creating a highly personal and relatable album with small universes built into each song. So, nice artwork there too. Now we have Sun Ra and his orchestra, Jazz in Silhouette. This is a double album and enshrined in the Penguin Jazz Guide's core collection. This quintessential platter of Sun Ra's late 1950s Chicago ensemble enables and showcases the brilliant tenor sax stylings of John Gilmore and introduces orchestra mainstays Marshall Allen, Pat Patrick, and Ronnie Boykins. Recorded and issued in 1959, it marks the coda for the bandleader's bebop hard bop stage, and his interstellar traveler persona began to transform the band and the music. So many of the early works on these records and recordings would remain staples in orchestra's set list for the rest of Sun Ra's life. It includes the complete contemporary Sound Sun Pleasure LP, rare stereo mixes, and bonus tracks. Boy, that was a mouthful. Okay, guys, so that is, a little taster for what's out today. And yes, there is more, and we're just getting to it to keep it short and sweet. We're very quickly approaching the half-minute mark. So thank you for hanging in there with me. I hope you all have a great weekend. And as I was saying in the beginning, and we'll try to keep this going as long as possible, but it's really kind of getting out of hand. So I'm going to do my best for you, but I will let you know if we're going to have to end up hanging it up. Okay, so have a great weekend, everyone, and I will see you next time.